If you've seen this movie musical and wondered just how much of the story was real, we're here to separate fact from fiction. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 5 facts The Greatest Showman got wrong. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at all of the aspects of this film that weren't exactly historically accurate. Number 5. Jenny Lin's singing voice. There are a lot of things The Greatest Showman gets wrong about the character of Jenny Lind. We'll get into some of the finer details later, but the first issue we're going to tackle has to do with her singing voice. You see, Lind was known as the Swedish Nightingale, and in fact, she was a famous soprano. In the movie, however, she's portrayed as singing in the alto range. Considering actress Rebecca Ferguson doesn't even do her own singing, this one is pretty perplexing.
I want the audience to come out and to think that they had expected to see a musical, with whatever expectance that is, and come out completely covered in goosebumps, not really knowing what they have seen.
Number 4. Portrayal of James Gordon Bennett. In the film, one of P.T. Barnum's detractors is the publisher of the New York Herald, James Gordon Bennett. He was a real historical figure, but sadly the movie portrays him in a negative light in order to put viewers on the side of the protagonist.
Does it bother you that everything you're selling is fake?
Did these smiles seem fake?
In reality, Bennett worked to dispel some of the more egregious hoaxes that Barnum was putting on display. Unlike in the film, there is no evidence that Bennett eventually changed his mind about Barnum's performances and gave his approval.
No one ever made a difference by being like everyone else.
Number 3. How Barnum got the money to start the circus. According to New Yorker contributor Richard Brody, the film doesn't make any attempts at accuracy when it comes to sharing how Barnum raised funds to be able to open his museum.
Can I have your attention? You're all dismissed.
Bankrupt.
Better luck with your next job.
In the movie, Hugh Jackman's character manages to sell the bond for a sunken ship to get the cash. But the true story is a little more complicated. Barnum had recently been released from jail on libel charges, and tricked a businessman into lending him money because of the expose his newspaper had done on another company.
I can't just run off and join the circus.
Why not? I mean, you clearly have a flair for show business.
For show business?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of it.
Because I just invented it.
Number 2. Barnum and Jenny Lind's relationship. In the movie, Jenny Lind is portrayed as being in love with Barnum, and even stirring up trouble by kissing him during a performance. First off, there's no evidence that she ever had romantic interest in P.T. Barnum, and in fact was quite selfless, donating all the money she earned on her tour with him to charity, the modern equivalent of $10 million. The reason she left his tour had nothing to do with her longing for him, but rather the rigors of touring life.
I believe those are the words of a scoundrel.
A showman, Miss Lynn, just a showman.
Number 1. P.T. Barnum was not a nice guy. We all love Hugh Jackman, and while the filmmakers did their best to turn a divisive historical figure into a sympathetic lead character, it's important to know the truth behind the story.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
One of the first things he did which led to his fame was buy an elderly slave woman who was both blind and partially paralyzed, and display her as George Washington's wet nurse. Upon her death, he charged spectators to view her autopsy. Also, as far as the bearded lady and Tom Thumb go, these figures weren't hired as adults. Both of them were young children when Barnum brought them into his quote freak show.
Don't listen to them. They don't understand yet. But they will.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.